application is going to be have the same functionality as the application that I'm working on. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is advanced TV search. So as you're probably aware, you can use that search bar on the page to search for anything you're looking for on your SnapStream system. It's going to look through the closed captioning on the SnapStream, on the recordings on your SnapStream, to actually find any mentions for what you're searching for. So if I did something that I know is going to get a lot of hits on, something like the word Trump, I know that Trump is going to have many mentions. So on my SnapStream here, I have almost 50,000 mentions on the word Trump. Now I could sit there for a year and I'm not going to be able to watch 50,000 recording search results for the word Trump. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use what's called Boolean search terminology, simply and statements, or statements, negative statements, putting things in quotes if I want to be specific. You know, essentially the same way you would search Google, you're going to be using, you can use that same functionality inside the SnapStream window here, search window. So I can say, okay, well maybe I'm looking for Trump and Clinton mentions, excuse me, Trump and Clinton. It's from there, from almost 50,000 results, now I'm down to 14,519 results that mention Trump and that mention Clinton. That's not specific enough for me. So maybe I want to say, you know what, I also want to find where they're saying the word Ohio as well. Now it's looking for all the mentions where they're saying Trump, they're saying Clinton, and they're saying Ohio. So we can see actually 7 minutes ago on CNN Newsroom, they said the word Clinton, they said the word Trump, and they said the word Ohio. Now I can even use negative statements, as I was talking about earlier, if maybe I don't want to see where they're mentioning Bill Clinton. So I can put a negative Bill here, and it's going to remove any mentions of where they're talking about Bill. So I went from 448 down to 429, removing all the mentions of Bill. Maybe I only want to find where they're saying the actual full term, Hillary Clinton. So I can put that in quotes and search on that. And it's actually going to come back only where the mention says Hillary Clinton rather than just the word Clinton. Now we're down to 296. And again, I can continue to add as many of these different search queries here as I need to find the important mentions. So maybe I'll say in taxes. And so now I'm down to 4 mentions where they're talking about Trump, they're talking about Hillary Clinton, and it uses the whole term Hillary Clinton. They also mention the word Ohio. They don't talk about Bill, and they say the word tax. From 50,000 recordings, I'm now down to 4 recordings where they say Hillary Clinton, say Trump, Ohio, tax, and there's nowhere to be found where it says Bill. And I can click right on it and go to that exact media. And from there, I can do all of my standard clipping functionality, my standard social functionality. That's all available to me now at this point. So that's one way to search the library in an advanced way. There's an additional way we can search the library in an advanced way by actually clicking on the bar, and I'm sure you've probably noticed this if you've used SnapStream quite a bit. You have all these search qualifiers that are going to come up when you click on that bar initially. Now these search qualifiers are going to help you search even more specifically inside the SnapStream software. You can do that via searching for channels or by credits or on a certain date or description of the show. All of these search qualifiers are there to actually search through that metadata for those shows and help you find that content that's most important to you. So I can come in here and say, okay, well, I want to use a filter of date. And I can come in here and say, okay, well, the date I'm looking for is 8/9/16, which is today. Or maybe I just want to say it was yesterday that I'm looking for, today that I'm looking for, this week, whatever it might be. Maybe I'm just looking for recordings from yesterday. I want to find where they say the word Houston, so I'm in Houston here, and I can do a search for yesterday's mentions of the word Houston. Shows me that this alert has the word Houston in it. If I go a little bit further down, there's Nightline where they're talking about Houston and so on. Now I can stack these search terms as well. So I use the search qualifier of date already, but I can also say, okay, well, maybe I'm looking for a certain channel only. I only want to find on a certain channel. Maybe I only want to find Fox News mentions that happened yesterday that said the word Houston. I can do that search. So there's actually no results on that channel, but you understand that if I were to look for certain channels, you can find where those exact media mentions are right there by typing in the channel that you're looking for. So I can do the search right here in the search bar using the search qualifiers. I can also, there's all kinds of search qualifiers here. I can search by credit of the show or the actors in that show, or you know, in between certain dates. One that I really love is a category search. If I only want to find certain types of shows, for instance, I only want to find comedy show mentions of the term Donald Trump, I can say do a category search in comedy for the word Donald Trump. And it's going to actually come back with results showing here's my Saturday Night Live mention, here's my Trevor Noah mention. If I go a little bit further down, there's my Larry Wilmore mention. It shows me just comedy shows, and there's all kinds of categories you can search on. The really nice thing is about this is you can actually stack these as many times as you want. Again, so maybe I only want to find comedy shows that happened yesterday that mention the word Donald Trump, and I can do that search, and there's my 68 results. Now that's the standard functionality for those search qualifiers. The last thing when it comes to advanced TV search is you're going to have this button right here that is my drop-down menu for searching. And I can search in here by adding whatever I'm looking for. Maybe I'm looking for the word Houston again, and maybe I want to search only on CNN for mentions within 1 day of the 4th. And it's going to actually search, build that query for me, and search right for those specific mentions. So you can see it filled that query in. It's the text that I was looking for was Houston. The channel that I was looking for was the CNN, which is 625 here, and it looked in between the dates that I was looking for. Shows me there's the 3 mentions where they're talking about the word Houston. Again, I can go, by clicking on that term, I can go right to that exact media mention. So that is our standard advanced TV search functionality. If you have any questions about anything I've shown you this far, please feel free to ask them in the question field. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. We're going to go ahead and move on to our recording priorities. Now, your system, my system that I'm demoing on here has 30 channels. Now, your system might not have 30 channels. It might have 4, it might have 15, it might have 10, whatever the situation might be. You may not have 30 channels like I do. So what you can actually do is you should know by this point that you can set your recordings in the guide, and you'll see on my system I have quite a few recordings that are red. Anything with a red dot is currently being recorded. Now, if I were to try to record too many items, it's actually going to turn up bright red. Any recordings that are conflicted is going to turn this color right here, this bright red, in its entirety. And it's going to show me that I don't have enough tuners available to me to actually record that content. So what do? Well, one, I can click on the red button if it turns red and say conflicts, and it's going to go in and allow me to choose what item I don't want to record. Or it's going to actually default here to the the recording priority schedule. I can find that by going up here to the top and clicking on schedule, and you'll see all of the recording jobs that I have here on my SnapStream. So a lot of the recording jobs that I have are 24/7 recordings, so I'm recording those channels 24 hours a day. But some of them are also just guide time slots. You can see that I'm recording that last week tonight, every episode. Now, if I don't go in and manually choose or fix the conflicts that have turned bright red, it's going to actually default to this schedule. It's going to choose my number 1 as the most important recording that I have available. So above all else, my Last Week Tonight with John Oliver recording is going to record above anything else. Then my Discovery Channel, then my Fox News, and so on. So if I had 4 channels available to me, I can say, you know what, MSNBC is more important to me than Fox News, and I can switch the time there and make sure that I'm recording the most important content to me. And again, it's going to default to this list if I don't go in and actually choose the recordings that are conflicted manually. So it's a really good idea to at least take a look at, maybe once a month or so at what your recordings are. Make sure that you have your priorities in check here. You can see that you can also come in and enable or disable recordings. If, for instance, I don't currently need to record E, I can hit disable on that, and I don't have to record it. You can also come in here and see any conflicted recordings by clicking on conflicted. You can see because there's no red in my guide, I don't have any conflicted recordings. Another nice thing here in the schedule is this little button here that says stats. Stats are really good to understand how long of a recording depth you have on your SnapStream server. So as soon as it loads up here, you'll see what the stats look like on my system. It'll show you the actual recording depth of my server. I currently have 7,658 hours on my server, and I'm recording about 568 hours per day of content. That means that I'm going to have a predicted archive depth of just a hair under 5 days. Now, I can bring my recordings down slightly to make sure that I have a longer recording depth, or I can continue to record more if I don't care about the recording depth. But you can see right there what the situation looks like. You can also get some historical context of what your recording history looks like, as well as hours and so on. So that's all right here in the schedule. So that's your recording priorities. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about advanced alerts. So we've talked generally in the sessions that I do about the creating alerts on your SnapStream server. There are a lot of different ways you can set alerts. The ones we generally talk about in our training sessions are closed captioning search alerts and TV guide search alerts. The TV guide search alert, as you may know, is going to alert on the metadata in your TV, in your guide. So if you want to know when, for instance, the word Clooney is mentioned in the guide, it doesn't look like it's mentioned here, but I can say what's important to me. If I put the word Trump in, you can see that it shows up 4 times, and I can save that and be alerted for any mentions of Trump in the metadata. I can also, by the way, auto-schedule recordings by hitting that auto-schedule record on guide search results right here on the TV guide. The closed captioning is our most basic functionality for alerts. And as you know, you can set up alerts on words that are important, or as well as search queries. Trump in Ohio, for instance, and I'll get an alert for all the mentions of the word Trump in Ohio. Now, the ones we don't generally talk about are a little bit more advanced. You can actually do local smart clipping on your server. If you want to be those clips of Trump in Ohio to automatically be clipped, I can put what my term is here, Trump in Ohio in text, and you can see that there's 12 recording results. If I choose closed captioning search with local smart clips, the system's going to smartly take a look at those mentions and clip that content out for you. It's going to do its best to figure out what the start point and end point of that conversation is, and it'll clip it out and be available in your clip folder. We have an additional option that says closed captioning search alerts with shared smart clips. You can do this as well, and not only will it clip it, but it'll also email that clip to someone, to yourself, to your colleagues, to your boss, or to whomever you want to share that with. You can do that right here. Now, I do want to let you know that this process, both local smart clips and shared smart clips, can be processor intensive, and if you're doing something that comes with a lot of results, I would not recommend doing either of those because it can take up a lot of the processing power of your SnapStream. If you're doing something very specific, something like 12 results or 4 results or whatever it might be, this is a great option for you to automatically have the system working for you and doing that clipping that's really important and saving you some time on the back end by letting the system, automating the system to do that for you. So that's some advanced ways to use the alerts functionality. Now, in the SnapStream software, again, if you have any questions about anything I've talked about, please feel free to ask them now. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have during the session. In the SnapStream software, we have ways to bring the social media tasks into a social media dashboard. Now, this is something that we recently added into the software. When you're clipping something, we'll go ahead and make a quick clip of TMZ Live here. I'm going to make a start point, and then I'm going to make an end point to end my clip. There's a 4-second clip that I created. Now, if I wanted to push this to social media, I can do that as we normally do via Facebook or Twitter, just by choosing Twitter or Facebook, whatever it might be. I can grab an image or push the video or push the GIF, whatever I want to do. I can actually come in here and say, instead of tweeting it, I actually want to queue that content up. So I'm going to hit the queue button. I can do that for both Facebook and Twitter. instead of posting that content directly, I can hit the Q button. Now what's going to happen when I do that is it's going to push that content to the social media dashboard. Social media dashboard can be accessed by top right here. And I can actually view that content before I post it live. It used to be through SnapStream, you could push tweet and it would go live, or push Facebook and it would go live. When I do it this way, what it's going to do is it's actually going to put it into the queue. So I can come in and take a look at this content that I've created. I can see the videos that I've created, or see the screenshots that I've created, and then I actually have the option to tweet that content out. I can hit edit if I want to and change the context of the tweet, or change the account I want to send it to, or even schedule that content to be posted later. I can schedule that and say, you know what, I want this to go live at 2:21 p.m., which is right now, so maybe we'll give it a few more minutes. And then I can save that content because I know that's ready to go. It is scheduled to tweet at 2:25, but I can also hit the tweet now button. The great thing about this is that I can make sure that the content that I'm posting to social is exactly what I want it to be, the correct start point, correct end point, that it covers everything that I'm looking for. And then when I'm ready to push it live, all I do is I hit that tweet button, and it's going to push it to either my Twitter or my Facebook account. You can see all that content right here. Take a look at it. Looks good to me. I'm ready to post it. Now the really nice thing, and there's a few of it, a few nice things I want to point out here, is that we get a little bit of that we can actually set up social media production workflows here by giving permissions to only the people that we want to be able to tweet that content or post that content. We can give them the only people that have access to that post button. So if you have a group of interns that is allowed to queue content up but not post it, we can set that up. We can also take a look at this content again, make sure that it's perfect before we push it live. The other very nice thing is that you actually get some analytics here on the back end to see what the content that had the most interaction, what has the most retweets and the most likes. You can say, okay, well, this had 16 retweets, it says 42 likes. If I wanted to cross-post that to Facebook, it worked on Twitter, I want to cross-post to Facebook, I can grab that video, cross-post it directly to Facebook in one post. I can also queue it up from there as well. So it's a really nice way to interact with your content, see what's getting the most likes, what's getting the most interest, what is working the best on your social media very, very easily. So that is our social media production workflows using the social dashboard. It's right up here at the top. It makes it really easy to interact with the posts that you're posting via SnapStream to get that content posted to Twitter, get that content posted to Facebook exactly in the way you like it. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about here today is keyboard shortcuts. We have a lot of keyboard shortcuts, and we cover some of them in our standard training, but I want to talk about just a couple more here before we wrap up this session. I'm going to jump back here into my recording session. Now again, if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. Right there in the GoToWebinar application, there's a field there that says chat as well as questions. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask now. So we're going to go ahead and make a start point and end point. Now there's 3 buttons here that to make clips. You'll see when we highlight over them, there's also hotkeys for that. Z as in for clip start, X to clip end, and and C to clip that content out. So instead of actually clicking around, going up here, down, up and down to get to that exact point, I can make a start point simply by hitting the Z button, which I'm about to do now. You can see as soon as I hit that Z button, it makes my start point on my bar here. I can let this play out naturally or move forward however I prefer. But when I get to the point in the recording that I want to end that clip, I hit my X button. You'll notice as soon as I'm about to hit that X button that it's going to make an end point. There it goes, and I have a 16-second clip. Now to clip it out, I can hit this button right here, or I can hit my C button, and it'll clip it out as it normally does, and I can give it a title and clip that content right out of my SnapStream server. It's really easy to use those hotkeys to do that. We also have here our jump to button. So if we wanted to jump to something, we can hit that J button instead of the jump to, and it'll give me my jump to options. Now, I might say, you know what, I want to go to 2:05 p.m. in this recording, and it'll go right to that point in the recording by hitting 2:05. We have some additional functionality here as well. So if I wanted to get a screenshot, I can also hit a Control-D on here, and that'll connect me to my screenshot to download that screenshot right there. So I need to take a screenshot of what I'm seeing. Control-D is my hotkey. Now, the other hotkeys that are really important in the software is our skip forward and skip back button. We have defaults on this of 7 seconds back and 30 seconds forward. So our hotkey to skip back is going to be a comma key to skip back 7 seconds. So I'm going to hit that now, and it's skip me back 7 seconds, and to hit it again and continue going back. Or I can hit my period key to skip forward. I hit period, and it's going to jump me forward 30 seconds. There's one 30 second, there's another 30 seconds, and it pushed me forward exactly a minute. So that's our basic clipping functionality right there to move around inside the recording. You also have, as you see, as you highlight over these, you have the option to hit Control and plus to move back, to skip a start, and Control plus and to the right to go to the end. It's very easy to move us about inside the recording using that functionality. That's really the most basic of the keyboard shortcuts. I do want to point out two things here on our website before we wrap up today. And if you do have any questions, please, again, ask them now inside the GoToWebinar application. I'd be happy to answer your questions you have. But I'm going to really quickly go over to our website at SnapStream.com and show you two different cheat sheets that are really important to us. If we go to the support banner under shortcuts and then cheat sheets, you'll see we have 4 cheat sheets that are available to us. Now, the web player and the social TV should be pretty straightforward to you, but I want to point out our TV search cheat sheet and our keyboard shortcuts cheat sheet. Now, I've actually linked to both of these inside the GoToWebinar application under handouts. You can click it and download these directly from GoToWebinar. The first one is our TV search cheat sheet. This is a really powerful one to actually see all the different ways you can search inside SnapStream. All of the different qualifiers that you can use inside the SnapStream search bar are going to be right here. You can see actors and before and after and channel, and some of the ones we talked about and some of the ones we didn't are all going to be listed right here. And then we have our basic TV search functionality. That's our standard Boolean search functionality that's part of the SnapStream software. That's ors and nots and quotation marks and parentheses and so on. And finally, we have our fancy schmancy TV search, which we embarrassingly call fancy schmancy here, where you can actually search with wildcard and fuzzy searches as well as proximity searches. So if you needed to find a word within a certain proximity of words to something else, you can actually do that right here and find those words within a certain proximity. So I definitely recommend downloading that one. And secondary is our keyboard shortcuts cheat sheet. Shows you all the the shortcuts that we talked about previously, as well as some additional skip back and skip forward. You can hit period as we talked about right here. We also have the option to do some more fine clipping by moving clip start point back 1 second, forward 1 second away from either the start point or the end point. So again, I definitely recommend downloading this keyboard shortcut cheat sheet as well as the web player cheat sheet. With that, we've kind of come to the end of our session today. If you have any questions about anything I've shown you, or if you have any questions about anything at all, you can actually ask now. We are here standing by for any questions that you have. My name's been Eric, excuse me. I can be reached at eric@snapstream.com. You can always reach out to me if you have any questions or if you want to schedule some additional training on the software. That is what I'm here for, so please don't hesitate to reach out. We are going to stand by for another 5 or 10 minutes to finish answering any questions that we have. I appreciate you being on the call today, and look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks a lot.